Hey guys, welcome back to the What the Real podcast. I'm your host Darnell.
And I'm Brittany.
So what are we going to be doing today?
We're going to be reviewing The Monkey, Stephen King's The Monkey. It just came out in movie theaters not too long ago, like last month. 2 months ago? Last month?
Yeah, it's around there.
February, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was February 14th.
Yeah, we reacted to this, right? To the trailer.
Yes, we did.
It looked interesting. Definitely.
Reminded me of Final Destination when we saw
Yes.
the trailer. And then when you watch the movie, it really reminds you of Final Destination.
Yeah. And I said it before. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna. It looks good. I don't know if it's gonna do well because you just see on the poster just the monkey, and I'm like, I don't know if anyone wants to go see it because they just see a monkey and they think it's some killer monkey killing people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably a downfall for it with the marketing, but. I like the way the monkey looked though. It kind of was creepy looking.
Yeah, especially when it did that smile.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So, what are your overall thoughts on the monkey?
I liked some of it. I
Okay.
wasn't like a huge fan of it because I feel like it was kind of like too much of a copycat of Final Destination. Like it was like too predictable. But I thought it was pretty good. I didn't like the ending. I absolutely hated the ending.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just thought like, okay, are they gonna destroy the monkey? They're like, no, we're keeping it. The whole town is being destroyed. People on fire and stuff like that. I was just like, no, I'm not enjoying this. I was like, too much chaos. But I thought it was kind of funny how the school bus went to go by with the people cheering.
Yeah.
And then the 18-wheeler chops off all their heads.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's one way to end the movie.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it could be better. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the comedy too. It was very dark.
Yeah, it did have dark
Comedy.
comedy.
I enjoyed it. I think it could have been fleshed out more. It seemed like it was rushed in a lot of places, but I did enjoy it. I thought I like all the deaths were really cool, and like a lot of them were just out of nowhere. You know.
Yeah, they definitely were out of nowhere.
I like
Final
the
Destination, like you're able to like you see it coming. Here it was kind of like random, like the lady
Yeah.
who went to go swimming in the pool. Like
yeah.
that was like random. You thought something was gonna happen to the guy there,
Yeah.
but instead it happened to the lady in the pool, and
Yeah.
I was just like, oh okay.
I'm loving the gore. A lot of gore. I love the
Yeah,
gore.
a lot of gore.
Love the
a
gore.
lot. The guy who gets stampeded by the horses.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
What do you say? It looked like a cherry pie or something like that.
Yeah.
Someone stepped into cherry pie. But yeah, I thought it, like I said, I thought it was overall good. It could have been fleshed out, especially with the monkey. When it comes to like stuff like that, I want to know more. I need lore. I want to know why, what created the monkey, like some history and all that stuff. I always like that.
Yeah. Now, here's my question. Do you think they're going to make a second one with the way it ended? Because I feel like it's kind of like an open story. Like,
No, I don't think there's going to be a second one.
You don't think so?
No. I think if it did really well, and a lot of people seen this movie, then maybe. But I think...
because I just
This
feel like
is
the
it.
way they ended it, like, it could make a second one.
I mean, they could. I just don't... I doubt it's going to get greenlit for another one,
Like,
you know?
what are they going to do with it? Are they going to lock it up? Because obviously the thing teleports. So,
Yeah. I think it's just mainly like, we just got to keep it with us and just make sure no one turns the key type thing.
Yeah, so I was just,
Yeah.
the ending just didn't flow with me.
Yeah.
I feel like if the ending was better, then the movie would be a higher rating for me.
Okay.
But just the ending kind of killed it for me.
All right. Let's go ahead and break it down then.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to start off?
Sure. So it starts off with we see a guy. He's running in to like a pawn shop.
Yep.
He's blood all over him. Actually, it's the same actor who's in the show Severance. I thought that was pretty funny. I've been watching that lately.
Oh, okay.
So he runs in with this monkey, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to take this off my hands." And then we see the guy. He's like, "Yo, we don't buy toys." And
Yeah.
He's like, "It's not a toy. Stop calling it a toy." Everyone gets upset when you call this damn monkey a toy.
Yeah. And then he's like saying, plus it's broken because the drumstick is stuck
Fuck
up. Stuff.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that drum to go off.
No, you do not want the drum to go off.
And then while he's trying to get this guy, the pawn shop owner, to actually buy it, then we see the actual drum go down,
Yep, you know what that means.
which is crazy. He actually, yeah, he starts playing, and then we see a rat like on top of like a on top of something, and he's walking, and there's like a rope, and you see the rat starts eating at the rope, and then it breaks the rope, and then it's connected to like a
It looks like a harpoon.
like a harpoon. It was like a guy in a it was a what are they
Scuba
called, like a
suit.
scuba suit, yeah, with a harpoon, ends up shooting it, and it goes into into the guy.
Yeah, right in his
Right.
stomach.
Yeah.
First, he's just standing there, like, staring, like, I've been hit.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, the harpoon retracts
Mm.
and just drags out his intestines.
Which
like,
is-
just drags it out, and then the owner falls to the ground.
Yeah. I thought that was a really good intro. I like that. It just letting you know right off the bat we're about to get crazy with the score, and
Yeah.
yeah. That was
I didn't
wild.
expect that to happen so
Yeah.
early in the movie.
Yeah.
No. I was like, this is probably going to have a long intro to introduce the monkey and stuff
Mm.
like that. But no, they went right in.
Yeah, just wild. And then we see the father. He ends up finding that there was a flamethrower in there as well. So he grabs the flamethrower and starts burning the monkey.
Yep.
And then they talk about the boys, the two boys.
Yeah, it shows the set of twins sitting on
Yeah.
a car. Then it goes to them brushing teeth. They were doing a monologue, but honestly, I can't remember what they were saying at the monologue. Maybe you wrote down about that.
It was pretty much talking about, it was just about their life.
And then he was saying how he fantasized like killing his brother and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
He was
So
saying
the
how-
brothers hate each other.
Yes.
By the way.
Saying about, pretty much, I think he was talking about how his father left him and all that stuff. And he's living with his mother. And yeah, he has a twin brother and that he doesn't like. They just hate each other. His brother makes fun of him and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
then they're just living with their mother. And then that they see that their father left them. Like he left, and then there was a whole bunch of his items left in like a closet or something
Yes.
like that. And then we see the two boys are just, grabbing stuff out of there. And then we see them grab like a big box. And I forgot what it exactly said. It was like organ
Something on it.
grinder or something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah.
So they open it and they see this monkey. They're like, oh, this is kind of crazy looking. They flip it over and flip the box over, and it says like,
Turn the key
Turn
to
the key.
see what happens.
yeah, which is wild. And then they turn it, and then the drum starts spinning, and then it stops, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess it's broken or something like that.
Yeah, because it never went off.
Yeah.
It did the little spinny thing in its hand,
Mhm.
which starts off with it, but then it just stopped. Once it plays the drum, that's when you know there's trouble.
Yeah, yeah. So we see them. They have a babysitter for them.
Yes.
They're sitting at the table.
Hibachi table.
Yeah. Well, no, this is before. Oh, this is
Oh.
when they. Oh no. This is when they first find out they had the. We first find out they had the babysitter. Their mother was leaving,
Oh, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
and then they get in the car, and then the monkey's in the car,
Yes.
and like I don't even know anyone brought the monkey. It was just there.
No, it like
Okay.
teleported there,
Yeah.
and Hal's like looking at it like,
Like-
should I go in the car? How does this get here? I'm a little creeped out.
Yeah. So that's when they go to Hibachi.
Yeah.
And while they're in Hibachi, we see the babysitter, and she's like kind of flirting with the guy
Yeah.
from Hibachi. Like,
And he makes a heart out of
Yeah.
the food.
so he's flirting. Then Bill, he's kind of flirting himself with the babysitter because he's in love with her. And then we see the monkey not in the back seat anymore.
Yeah,
The
sitting in
monkey's
the front seat.
In the front seat.
I'm like, oh snap, something's about to happen.
I was like, was he about to drive away or something? And then he starts playing. The monkey starts playing the drums. And then that's when we see the chef, using the knives and stuff like that. And he slices the throat of the babysitter.
Decapitates her.
Yeah. And her head just falls off, and it falls onto the actual stove or whatever,
Yeah.
the stove top, and is cooking her head, which is crazy.
Yeah. And then it stops at then they're at the funeral,
Mm-hmm.
and the pastor's like trying to make a speech about her, but he's like butchering it. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is death
Yeah.
happened to so and so.
Yeah.
accidents happen. This was no accident. And I'm like, what is this guy
Yeah.
talking about? How is he a pastor
Yeah,
doing
because
this?
he was cursing. He's like, "Oh shit!" Like, "Oh, this is
no,
wild."
he said, "Oh fuck."
Oh,
he
yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Oh fuck." That was like the first thing he said.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, it's death." He says, "It is what it is."
Yeah, I'm like, what is this guy talking about? I'm like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
And then they had I forgot which brother said it, but they were like, how to get her head back on or something like that.
I think it was Hal.
How? Yeah.
Yeah. And then they go to the cemetery, and the mom's like talking to the kids, and she's like, everyone dies.
Mm-hmm.
Some people die peacefully, and some people die of horrible deaths. Maybe they have duct tape over their mouth, screaming and stuff like that. I'm like, yo. I'm
Yeah.
like, what kind of mom is telling this to her kids?
Yeah. I actually like her as an actress. She's really good as an actress. There's this show I used to watch on my Cinema Critics channel. I can't believe I forgot the actual name of it. But she plays like a whole bunch of different clones of herself,
Oh,
and they
wow.
all have different personalities. She does a really good job with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really good show. And then what
The
happened?
mom says, you know what we should do? We should
Oh,
go dancing.
We should go dance. Yeah.
So you just see them all dancing, enjoying themselves. I'm like, oh my God, you just got back from a funeral and
Yeah.
you're dancing?
They're all dancing.
All right, if that's
Yeah.
what floats your boat.
Yeah, it's just
Go
a
ahead.
crazy family because the mother, she's kind of crazy a little bit.
Yeah,
she's
she
a little
is.
odd, little oddball.
Yeah, but you know what? That's all right. You
Yeah.
could be odd.
Yeah.
We like you regardless.
Yeah.
And then the kid is at school and he's walking into the, I guess, the boys' locker room,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of girls in there. And I don't remember exactly what they say, but they were saying, oh, I guess your mom's the man in the family
Yeah.
now. Where's the pants in the family since your
Yeah.
dad left?
Mhm.
And they're like, you know what that means? Only one person can wear pants. So they take his pants off, and you see him come home, and he
Yeah.
literally has no pants on. He's in his underwear.
Yeah.
And then his mom's like, oh, I'm making food because I just love cooking for my two boys. And then he goes down to his room, and he's like, Mom, did you put the monkey down here? And she's like, no, I haven't been in your room since I found the stiff sock.
Right. And then Bob, right? What's his name?
Bill.
Bill comes in, and then he starts like bullying him about the monkey and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's like, tell me you want to suck it off.
Yeah.
And I'll let you keep the monkey. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, tell me you want to marry him. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then I got he goes back to school, and then he finds the monkey in his bag.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
in health class.
Yeah.
And he finds the monkey in his bag. So they were just showing a male's genitals on the computer, but it was like a drawing
Yeah.
of it. So it was just kind of ironic because they look at the thing and the one girl's like, oh, Miss blah, 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 he's masturbating to this.
Yeah. Then he's like sitting in gym or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
all the girls have big ass boxes of bananas walking towards him. And then right? Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
he
yeah.
goes home
And he has
and you see him with food.
food
just
all over
just
him.
covered over his entire body, like
Yeah.
just all over him. So he goes straight to his room, and his mom's like, I'm making dinner. And he goes to his room, and then he's like, to the monkey, I want you to kill my brother Bill.
Yeah.
This is because of Bill. I
Yeah.
want you to do this for me. And then he winds up the knob on the monkey. And then Bill comes home. And he's like, Mom, are you home? Mom, are you home? And he's walking to the kitchen. And then you see the monkey plays.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes in there, and his mom just starts yelling. Did she bleed from the eyes?
Oh yeah, she
She was bleeding from the
eyes, eyes, ears, mouth. She was bleeding everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so she was bleeding from there, and she was screaming, and she passes, like, she just dies. She
Yeah,
falls
like,
to the ground,
I
dies.
think the monkey like drums one more time, and like her head almost explodes like from the inside or something a little bit.
Yeah,
And like she just drops to the ground.
yeah. And then, so the mom dies, so then they're at the funeral, and Bill's, like, interrupting the pastor from talking. He's like, Mom, wake up. This isn't a funny joke. Please wake up. I need you to wake up, Mom. It was kind of sad.
Yeah, it was.
That was sad
That was
watching
really
that
sad.
because I can only imagine like if that like real life kids
Yeah.
must be like that.
And like everyone is just sitting there listening to him, like,
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
sad.
yeah.
That I felt that part. I'm like, oh my gosh, they had to add this in the movie.
yeah,
And then he sat down and he's like, oh, you can continue, Pastor.
yeah. I think it cuts a little bit, and then they show.
Him sitting
Him-
on the stairs with his uncle.
Yeah, and they're talking a little bit. There's like a part where like he's another monologue, and it's saying that pretty much he was saying like the monkey kills what he wants to kill, and he doesn't take requests. Like he was
Yeah.
talking about, he made the request to kill for the monkey to kill his brother, but it killed his mom. It doesn't take requests. It kills who it wants to kill, and that's that.
Yeah.
And then we see him sitting with his uncle.
And the uncle pretty much says, we never wanted kids.
Yeah.
Like, what an ass.
He's like, we're swingers, and we're pretty much. He said, we're not probably gonna do good, raising you, but we're gonna do it the best we can, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then,
Then it cuts to them in bed. Bill is sleeping.
oh yeah,
But then Hal wakes up and he's
Mm.
still in his suit and he has a knife on him. And he goes and grabs out the monkey and chops it to pieces.
Yeah.
But he chops off the arm first
And
and
it
it looks like blood,
it was
right?
bleeding, yeah.
Yeah, it was bleeding. And he's like, what the fuck?
yeah,
And then he just chops it to pieces, throws it in a garbage bag, gets on the dump truck, and calls it a day.
yeah.
And then that's when they pick up and they're moving to Maine.
Moving to Maine, just like every other Stephen King story. It's all in Maine. It all happens in Maine. And then we see they're pretty much they move into their aunt and uncle's house, and they're in the attic, and we see Bill. He's like laying in his suit, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you take your suit off?" He's like, "Well, I'll just keep it on because there's gonna be another funeral, and I
Yeah.
might as well just keep my suit on."
And he's
'Cause-
like, maybe if I keep it on, I won't
Yeah.
have to go to another
Yeah.
funeral.
Because if I take it off, I'm just gonna have to put it back on.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I was
Yeah.
like, that's sad.
Yeah. Then it's a really creepy scene that we see Bill, and he's looking outside, and he thinks he sees something,
Yeah,
and then he starts looking, and all of a sudden you can see the monkey just that was a crazy looking scene.
yeah. And they're like, Bill's like, asks, why did you bring it? And then he's like, I'm gonna try it, and he's like, no, you shouldn't try it. But he tried it anyway. He turns it on, and that's when his uncle died. Tell
Yep.
him how he died.
So they went camping, I guess, right?
And it was a hunting
Oh,
accident.
a hunting accident, yeah. And he was ran over by a group of horses while he was in a sleeping bag,
Yep.
trampled. And when they opened the bag,
He was nothing but mush.
mush. It was crazy. That was wild.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right,
Oh.
so then the Bill and Hal, they're at a well, and they
Mm-hmm.
drop the monkey down it. They have chains wrapped around the box,
Mm-hmm.
and they drop it down so hopefully no one finds it.
Yeah, because they realized that it can't be destroyed, and no matter what, is going to keep coming back. So they said, let's, contain it instead of trying to destroy it.
Yeah, which I would really like to know the backstory of this monkey.
I will love. Yes, I want to know the backstory.
Like I would really like that would I think that would really boost the movie. Like maybe if they had done something at the end of the movie with it,
Yeah.
that would have been cool. But to know the backstory, that would have been something. Because I want to know, how did this thing become this?
Yeah.
And it's latched onto this family.
Yeah.
It's been there for generations. But I just want to know more about it.
You know what? A sequel probably wouldn't be good, but you know what? A prequel.
A prequel, yeah,
prequel.
prequel.
Yeah, monkey prequel.
Okay.
I think that would work.
Yeah. Then it jumps 25 years later, so there's nothing happened between these 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows the
The aunt.
waking up. She hears
Yeah.
music, and she grabs a gun. She's looking around her entire house. She sees the front doors open, and she still hears the music. So she goes down to the basement.
Mm-hmm.
She turns on the light. But the light goes out, and she's like, you know what? Forget this. And she goes to step upstairs. What happens?
Freaking stairs gives away, and she falls in some boxes. Like, oh no, did she die? No, she gets up, and she has freaking fishing hooks all over her face.
Yeah.
oh.
She's like screaming. She's like, ah!
You see her in the mirror, pulling them out and stuff like that. You gotta guys, you gotta understand. If you go fish, like I go fishing, I used to fish a lot, and those things are barbed. So
Yeah.
once they're in, you can't just pull them out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So I know she was going through a lot of pain. And then she goes into the kitchen, and then I guess I don't know if she smelled it.
It seemed like she smelled gas.
Smelled
It seemed like
gas,
she was
right?
gonna go smell it on the thing.
Mm.
But did she turn the stove
Oh, no.
on, or
No.
did it turn by herself?
It turned on by itself.
Okay, that's what I got confused
Yeah.
at that part.
Yeah, she went to go. I guess, yeah. Maybe she smelled gas. She's like, "Is it on?" She puts her head down there and just woof, lights up.
And her face is on fire.
Yeah.
And she's running through the house on fire.
And it was crazy because I was watching my wife. She said it too. It was like, you ran right past the sink.
Yeah.
You just turn the water on, put your head under. But she started running all throughout the house. She runs out the front door
Yep.
and then runs right into the mailbox face first.
I
right
thought it was
into
a for sale sign.
Was it? I think.
I think it was a for sale sign.
Oh, it might have been the for sale sign. Yeah.
Like the wood part of it, like that was stuck in the ground that goes up.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then she smashed her head against
Yeah.
that and then
Okay.
died.
Yep. You're right.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Right in the. Yeah. Right in the. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it jumps to Hal working at a supermarket. Now, I thought he was lying when he said this part to his boss, because he's asking his boss if he
Oh,
can leave
yeah.
early.
Mhm.
And his boss is like, "Oh, you don't see your kid?" And he's like, "No, I see him once a year." Okay, first off, I'm like, this guy's making this up. He does not really have a kid. Why would you see your kid once a year?
Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of father is that? But his boss eventually lets him go, and he's like smoking weed or whatever.
Yeah, because the boss was like, "Oh, that's messed up, bitch. Who, don't let you see your son and all that stuff." He was like, "No, that was that
That's
was my
actually me.
yeah, that was my doing." He was like, "Oh, well, that's fucked up."
Yeah. And then it shows him driving to the house because I guess it was his kid's birthday. Who are the people that was taking care of him? Like, did they say the relationship to that?
So, it was Petey.
Well, I know who Petey's
Oh.
his son, but who are the people that are taking care of Petey?
Oh, so that was his mother, and then the stepfather.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, I was a little lost on that. I should have made that connection.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he goes there, and he said he's taken away all of his what? Taken away all of, I can't remember what it was.
He was taking all. I'm trying to think what part.
When they're sitting on the couch, and he's
Mm.
like, I just took away all of your something. I forget what
Oh,
it
your
was.
energy. He
Oh,
was like,
your
"Oh, I took
energy."
away your energy." He was like supposed to be some like crazy therapist or something like that.
Yeah,
And he was like, "Yeah, I took your energy." He's like, I didn't tell you to take my energy or something like that."
yeah,
And then I guess he was talking that, he was saying like, there's no reason for you to be coming every once a year anymore because Ted, I believe it was that Ted is he's gonna be adopting Petey,
Yep.
so you don't have to see your son anymore. And he was pretty upset. He was like, I still want to see my son. She was like, well, why only once a year? And obviously you don't because you only see him once a year. And he was like, no, I actually do like my son. I do want to see my son. And then Petey walks in, and then and they talk to Petey, and then we see then from there they go back to the aunt's house.
yep. That
And they're having a estate sale. Yeah.
And some kid with a skateboard
Yeah.
walks up there. We later find out that Bill hired him to go look there.
Mm-hmm.
Is looking for this monkey.
Even though the monkey did the monkey is so the monkey has the killing powers, but we see like a little bit different powers because once he grabs the monkey, he sees his dad.
Yeah.
So I want to know what's that all about? Maybe if he turned the key, it would be connected to his family or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he can see his dad through the monkey,
Yeah.
So that might be it.
Yeah, it says it reminds him of his dad.
Mhm.
So he didn't want to give it to Bill, but eventually he does.
Yeah.
But then it jumps back to showing Hal, who it looks like he lives in a motel with his son, or is he just staying there in the area?
I think he was just staying there
Okay.
because he was staying in the motel just because he was close to the house, I guess.
Yeah,
And they're talking about
the family tree.
family tree. Yeah, Petey. Pretty much, Petey wants to know more about his dad because obviously he didn't tell him.
Yeah.
And then he's asking like, "Do you have any, brothers or sisters?" And he's like, "No, I don't have any."
And he's like, no to both. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no to both. And then he's like, what's your mother's name? And she's like, Lois.
Like he just not want to tell him anything. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
a crazy situation. It's just crazy. Only seeing your son once because you don't want him once a year because you don't want him wrapped up just in case the monkey shows
Yeah,
up.
that must suck. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly.
Then we see he's dreaming a dream sequence
About the monkey.
about the monkey. You see the monkey picking him up out of bed, and then and he dreams about the monkey killing him.
Yeah.
He was laying on the table, and the monkey cut him up instead of the way he cut the monkey
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And then he gets a phone call from his brother
Mm-hmm.
to clean out his aunt's house. And to find the monkey because they think that's what happened to her because he told her that she's dead and they said that it was a freak accident.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh snap, the monkey's alive. Can you go check there to see if you find the monkey?
Yeah.
The kid never turned the monkey over to him yet, so he's like still looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they get that phone call and then
was-
the lady. So something fell off the roof. Was that an air conditioner unit or a TV?
It was the air conditioner. So when first Hal wakes up, it's like really hot in the room. So he turns the air down. Once he turns the air down, it like messes up the air
Yeah, it's
conditioner.
like shaking.
Yeah.
So he's on the phone with his brother and it falls off the roof. And then it catches like electricity goes through to the water there.
Yeah.
And it goes to the pool and this lady's about to jump in it and he's like, no. And she jumps in it and she like explodes. And her leg went flying and Hal ducked below it and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, that was a crazy death.
Yeah, I thought she was just gonna hit the water and just get electrocuted. She exploded.
No,
though.
she exploded. There was nothing left of her. There was no chance of surviving
Oh,
for her.
that was crazy.
No way.
And then so we see how he goes and wakes up Petey and he's like, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And then Petey's like, wait, what? And then he goes, we gotta make like eggs and scramble.
Yeah.
I thought that was just crazy. Like he started screaming at Petey, we gotta make like eggs and scramble.
Yeah, and Petey's like, I'm not going. I'm just going to go back to sleep. And he's like, no, we have to go. We have to go now. And then it goes to a flashback of his mom coming in his room, and he was asking for advice. And the mom's like, try not to kill anyone around you.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up. The next thing you know, they're at the aunt's house, and he wants his kid to wait in the car. And then the realtor comes over. And she's like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm
I talked to. Yeah, I'm Barbara.
I'm Barbara. I talked to your
your
brother, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, your brother Bill is so nice. What a character.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about Bill. And the kid's like, and Hal's like, oh my God. And he's like, thank you. And the kid's like, oh, so there is someone.
Yeah.
You know, I asked my dad if I did have any uncles and aunts, but he said no. And now I just find out I have one. How interesting.
Right.
So Barbara and him go inside the house. The kid's not in there yet. And they're checking out a closet. And she's like, oh, it's empty. There's nothing in here. We sold a lot of the stuff in the estate sale. We made over $100. He's like, okay, we need to check out the other closet. So they go to check out the other closet, and it's locked.
It's locked, yeah.
And then it flashes to Petey coming in the house, and he has his headphones in, so he can't hear anything.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, this key doesn't work. Nope, this key doesn't work.
Yeah.
Nope, this key doesn't work. Oh, I found the correct key. And it opens up the door, and Hal's like, wait, no, move. And then, bam, blows to the pieces.
Yeah, freaking shotgun was sitting up, and they just fell. And a boom shot her, and like she just exploded.
Yeah, with blood and guts everywhere, landed all on him. And next thing you know, Petey's asking, "Is everything all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, everything's fine." How do you tell him everything's fine?
Yeah. And it's so funny because she was trying to open the key, and he kind of thought something was gonna happen. He was like, "You know what? Don't worry about it." And then she opens it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like I thought he was just gonna leave, but the police came. They called the police.
But I missed a part.
What?
Before I say that, the realtor was saying how someone was dying every day of the
Oh
week.
yeah.
she's like, oh, this person died from this accident. This person died from this accident on this day. So she's like, ever since Monday, a person has died every day. And then she died.
Yeah, it was someone getting ran over by a lawnmower. I'm trying to think what the other
one with the coffee thing burning them in the face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so just a lot of people just randomly dying all throughout town.
Yeah. So they come, the cops come. They call it the cops. The cops like stay in town.
You gotta stay in town because
don't go anywhere. And he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to take my kid to this theme park." And the kid's like, "No, we're gonna do the responsible thing and stay in town and get a motel." And the cop's like, "Oh, thank you for listening."
Yeah. And then we see how he ends up looking for his brother because he figured that because his brother calls the house. And, they're talking about what just happened and all that stuff.
We skipped the part
where we did.
I want to make this. I just wanted to point this out. When they were bringing the body out, everyone was cheering.
Oh, yeah. It was cheering and there was cheerleaders.
Yeah.
There's cheerleaders.
I just had to make that that presence.
I think because everyone was dying every day, maybe like people were like, I don't know, like maybe it was some kind of, not a cult, but people were just cheering. Oh my God, another person died.
Yeah, like, ooh, a body.
Yeah. Oh, the trend is still going,
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what it was. I don't understand the cheerleading part though. The cheerleaders.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
I don't get the cheerleaders. But yeah, so Bill calls. He calls the house phone, and they're talking about what just happened and all that stuff, and then Bill says, "Okay, wait for my signal." And then Hal's like, "Wait, what?
What signal?"
That means you must be around here. You must be in town.
It's like, you're in town, and the next thing you know, he hangs up.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a phone book, and he looks for his name underneath his last name, and there's nothing in there. So then he goes to a different section, and he finds Miss Monkey.
Yeah.
And calls that number, and he's like, "Oh, if you're responding to my ad, I already found my monkey. Thank you." And then he puts two and two together, like his brother was doing the crimes the entire time.
Bill, he said Bill knew it was him who tried to kill him, and obviously, he's trying to kill Hal by using the monkey.
Yeah. And he said he sees the monkey everywhere. Like everything he's doing, you would see the monkey. Like he went to a strip club, and that was funny when the stripper bent over.
The monkey.
It was the monkey head.
I have two. Oh, it's going to be hard for me. I have two ideas for Halloween. Either one, hard eyes, or definitely that monkey mask. And maybe get a suit on with the monkey mask or something like that.
And then Bill was like, I have to make my my suit again from childhood.
Yeah.
He had to fix it because he knows there's going to be death because of the monkey.
Yeah.
So you see him wearing it.
Wearing the suit, and he's saying he wants to get revenge for Hal killing his mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you see Hal Boss's boss dies. He goes to the vending machine, and he's trying to get something out of it. And it stops, and he's like, "Oh, that's some bullshit." And he walks away. He hits the rake up, hits him right in the face.
Oh my God!
And then was that his vape
pen? His vape
pen
pen went right in his
right in his mouth, and he choked to death.
That was crazy. That was some like Looney Tunes stuff right there with the stepping on the rake.
Yeah, and then it goes back to that kid with the skateboard. He's knocking on Bill's door, and he's like, "I want the monkey back. It reminds me of my dad," and stuff like that. And Bill's like, "Not a chance. It's mine." And next thing you know, he goes home. He grabs a gun, and he's asking. I guess that's who's that guy? That army guy? Is that his brother?
That was his brother. Yeah.
His brother. He's like, "Do you have extra bullets for the gun?" So he's like, "Which one? Which caliber or whatever?" And then he gets it, and then he sees a police uniform, and he puts it on.
Yeah. Also, we see that Bill, because he was talking to himself, and he was like, what if Petey turns the key? He was thinking.
Oh,
yeah. So he's thinking, if Petey turns the key, it will kill Hal. So that's what he's thinking. Then we see how he ends up calling Bill again. Bill actually picks up, and tells him, "Hey, I know it's you. Don't, stop, turning the key."
Yep.
Then we see Bill. He goes, "Well, I'll stop turning it if only if you tell PD to turn it, or if not, I'm gonna keep turning this damn key and keep killing people.
Yeah.
You know, either you have PD turn the key, or I'm gonna keep turning it. Pretty much, he was saying.
Yeah. So, and then they get back to the hotel, and he's going into the PD goes into the bathroom, and
Oh, yeah.
he's like, oh, I gotta take you back to your mom, and
Mhm.
the kid's not answering, so he's like banging on the door, and then he was about to kick it down, and he's like, geez, I was just going to the bathroom,
Yep.
and then he's like, oh, you know, you were a mistake, you were an accident, but
Mm.
not a mistake,
Yeah.
and the kid's like, oh, gee, thanks,
Yeah. Yeah. And he was telling. Yeah.
and then someone knocks on the
Knocks
door,
on the door. And it
says
was,
it's the police.
he was like, "Yeah, man, it's the police. Open up." It's like a stoner kid.
And then he has the gun, and he's like, yo, you guys are coming with me.
Mhm.
We're going somewhere. So they go, and he's holding the gun. They drive to they get to Bill's place. But Hal's like, where are we? And he's like, don't you know this is your brother's place? And he's
Yeah.
like, I really don't know. And he's like, don't play stupid. I know you know.
He was like, "No, we're estranged." He was like, "Oh, that's that's messed up."
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then he wants Petey to get out and go in the house. And he's like, no, I'll do it. But he's like, no, he's the one who's going to be able to fit through the dog door that's back there.
Yeah.
So Pete goes in, and he fits through the dog door, and he walks by, and an axe gets thrown.
Yeah. There's freaking booby traps all over the house, and he almost like just got killed. Like
Yeah.
he just missed it.
Yeah, what's the other
Yeah.
one that happens? That almost happened?
Yeah, he was walking, and then there was another set, and he almost stepped on it, and he looked, and he seen like these swords, sit, you know, and he was like, "Oh, holy crap!" And then right when he kept on walking, then we see like one of the traps like halfway set off.
Yeah, with the
And, like,
bowling ball.
ball. And they were
Yeah.
like- and
And then,
the-
the dad was telling the kid before he went in, do whatever you do, don't turn
turn
the
it.
key.
yeah, don't, because he has no idea what's going on. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then hold on. Then they go back to Hal and the stoner kid, and they're talking about I forgot what they're talking about, but they see the hornet's nest,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What the hell?" And then it starts like hanging down a little bit, and then Hal's like, "Hey, you want me to back up a little bit?" He's like, "No, stay there." And I was
Yeah.
like, because obviously Hal knows something's up, like.
Yeah.
You know, that's easily something that can kill us.
Yeah. And then Pete walks in on Uncle Bill talking to the monkey,
Mm.
and he's like, you have to kill Hal next. You gotta kill him. This is what you're gonna do."
Mhm.
And he's like, Uncle Bill. And then Pete asks, "Are you okay?" And he's like, people don't really ask me that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not doing okay. And then he shows Pete the monkey, and he's trying to get Pete to turn the key.
Yeah, he was like,
Pete actually does
yeah,
it.
yeah, because he's like, "Oh yeah, this is your grandfather's. You know, it's broken, but can you help me out? Try turning it and see if that will work." And
Yeah.
so he actually turns the key. I was like, "Holy crap, he's doing it!" I didn't think he was going to.
Yeah, then it flashes back to the car, and the kid has the gun says, these police caps are itchy, and he's scratching his head.
Yeah.
Bam! The gun goes off, shoots right through the windshield.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's when I know something's gonna happen.
Yep. And then we see the
The monkey plays.
monkey starts playing.
Then what happens?
And then we see Hal looks. He sees there's a hole in the windshield, and then he looks further, and then he sees a hole in the freaking bee's nest. Or it was a hornet. It was hornets.
Hornets. I think it was hornets.
Yeah, it was hornets. And then one popped out, and then they both was like, "Oh shit!" And it just went straight inside, like
The hole.
The
gunshot hole.
yeah.
In the windshield.
the whole nest. Like they all went out and went through that hole in the windshield and went straight into the stoner kid's mouth, like all of them. Like that was wild.
Yeah.
And then like you could like it was like his face is like halfway off from all
yeah,
the
like his mouth is
Yeah.
like falling apart and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that was
yeah,
crazy.
It was crazy.
So then Hal was like, "All right, well, let me leave." He walks out real slowly so the hornets won't attack him.
Yeah.
And then he starts going in the house and actually meets up with Petey when he was trying to get through the doggy door.
Yeah. And Bill's trying to get him to turn the key again. but he didn't want to, so he
Oh, yeah,
slaps him
yeah.
across the face.
Yeah.
And then he turns in, he's like, kill Bill, kill Hal.
Yeah.
And then he struggles with the monkey.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
trying to make it do it. He's like, oh, you're a strong little thing.
Yeah.
But he loses, and the monkey makes him get thrown away.
Yeah. And then
The monkey plays again.
plays like multiple times.
And then they look outside, a plane crashes into the town.
Yeah, like you hear multiple screams in the distance and all that stuff, and then you see the plane. They hear the plane crash and all that. I was
People
like, oh,
falling
man.
through the ceiling.
Yeah, because they, Petey's seen the poster for the skydiving, and you can get married. You can get married while
yeah.
doing skydiving.
Oh, okay, that all makes sense. I was
Yeah.
like, is she wearing a wedding dress?
Yeah. So they start just crashing through the ceiling and stuff like that. I was
I'm
like,
so
oh my
glad
God.
you made that connection. Okay, all right, that makes sense now.
I thought it was wild. It was just random people just crashing through the ceiling. And then we see Hal confronts Bill. He tells him like pretty much that, we see Bill telling, hey, you killed, it was you the one who turned the key to try to kill me, but ended up killing mom. You killed mom. And then it's just crazy. Hal goes, yeah, that was my mom too. I was sad too. And he was like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Because they hated each other so
Yeah.
much, they had no regards for each other's
Yeah.
feelings.
He's like, oh, I didn't even think about it like that. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then we're like, hey, can we start over? Can we, get past this? And he was like, yeah. So then we see Hal try to take Bill's hand, and then he goes, ooh, like that a couple times.
Yeah. And it's like, come on, man, like be
Yeah.
serious.
So he takes his hand, he picks him up, and they're like, hey, we're still gonna go on our trip. Do you want to come with us?
Yeah.
And Bill's like, you know what? All right, I'll go. And then that's when the monkey drums again, and then we see that freaking bowling ball gets shot out and takes freaking Bill's head off.
Yep.
And then you look on the bowling ball and it says Lois on it.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's just wild.
Yeah. And then so Bill's dead. So then it goes to him in the car with his son Pete,
Yeah.
and you see the town is destroyed.
Just destroyed. You see, someone had a surfboard through them, and it was through a tree.
Yep.
There was a lady running with a baby carriage on fire.
Yeah.
There were just so many dead people. Like that drumming, that initial drumming when the monkey just went crazy was killing a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. And then they stop at a red light, and then this horse walks by with this guy on it, but it was like
I
it
believe,
was a ghost.
yeah,
right?
I believe it was like Death. I think it was Death, or like maybe one of the horsemen. I guess
Yeah,
Death, like maybe one of the horsemen. I guess like rolled up and like looking at him, and then he just walks away. Like that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it had to
Yeah.
be. It was definitely a ghost.
It was definitely
Yeah,
a ghost.
it was
hands
definitely
down.
a ghost.
And then then they go through the red light, and the next thing you know,
Yeah.
a school bus is going by. You got the cheerleaders cheering again, and the 18-wheeler goes
Yeah.
right by, where they're in the center of the screen, and you see all their heads are chopped off, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, and also the PD asked him, what are we gonna do? And he goes, oh, let's go dancing.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
wrote that down in my notes, and I
Yeah.
skipped that.
It's like, yeah, let's go dancing. It's like, huh? But that's calling back from his mother,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it comes with the bus, and they get
Yep,
their
and
heads
then
taken
they
off.
get their heads taken off.
And then
Oh,
that's the end of the movie.
definitely. Definitely, I like the comedy. I like the comedy a lot. I thought it was good.
Yeah, comedy was pretty good.
Like I said, I enjoyed it a lot. I think I want to flesh out a little bit more with the monkey. I just want to know more about the damn monkey. You
Yeah.
know?
I feel like that would have made the movie better.
Yeah. Also, maybe a little bit more suspense when it comes to like the ending, the climax of the movie between Bill and Hal. Like, give me a little bit more with that.
Yeah, I felt like the ending was rushed.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt like rushed. Like all it took was Hal saying, "Hey, I know how you feel." Then I'm like, oh yeah, true. You're right.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So my question to you is,
Mm.
what would you rate this movie?
I'm going to give this. I'm gonna give it 3 stars.
I'm gonna give it 2.5.
2.5. Okay, that's close. That's close.
2.5.
It would have been, like I said, it would have been higher if they fleshed out a little bit more with the monkey, or just given how they did the monologues about them and all that stuff. Just give one about the monkey.
A
You know,
quick one.
Yeah,
Just like a brief, like
you know.
you just take 30 seconds.
Just a little bit
Do
more.
another death with the monkey's monologue going.
Yeah, or maybe when that ghost walks by, like, I don't know, like some kind of hint or something with that.
Yeah.
I just want to know more about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, it's based off Stephen King, like short.
I gotta
and
read the book.
I gotta read it because I'm sure it fleshes out a little bit more.
It has to.
Yeah.
It definitely has to. No
Yeah.
doubt about that.
Yeah, I definitely want to learn more about this. I definitely like the concept about it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's demonic, possessed. I have no idea. Cursed.
Curse. I'm thinking curse.
Yeah. But I mean, it kind of have his mind of its own though. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, because when Bill tried to make it drum itself, like, it definitely was fighting him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
you know. But yeah, it's just crazy. Definitely good. I love the kill, all the deaths in there. They're really
They were
fun.
pretty good.
They were good.
They were in competition with Final Destination.
Yeah. A lot of people exploding gore. Like I said, I wanted to see maybe do something with Elijah Wood a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
have him in the movie for 5 minutes and that's it, or at least kill him off or something. you know. But yeah, I thought it was good. I give it 3 stars. I'm probably happy I didn't see it in the theaters. I probably would have wanted more.
Yeah, I'm happy I didn't watch
Yeah.
it in theaters.
Yeah.
I would have felt like I would have wasted my money.
Yeah.
Theaters aren't cheap nowadays.
I
so.
know. Like, you only want to go see the big stuff. I am going to go see Sinners, though. in
Oh,
the
okay,
theater.
nice. Nice.
Yeah. But, yeah, I thought it was good.
Let us know what
yeah,
you
let
think,
us know your
guys.
thoughts.
Did you watch it? Did you enjoy this review before you watched it? Because you want to know what it was about? We want to hear from you. Email us. What's our email?
Podcast What the Real at gmail.com. So
yeah,
make
we'll
sure
get back to you.
sure you
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. What's that?
Yes, YouTube, youtube.com, What the Real Podcast. So make sure you go there and like and subscribe. We're trying to grow.
Yeah, we want to get out there, guys.
Yeah.
Go follow us on our Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music,
Yeah.
all of them things. Check it
Yeah.
out.
If there's a podcast app, we're on it. So make sure you go. Make sure you follow. Make sure you rate.
5 stars, guys.
Yes, 5 stars. Yep,
Please,
definitely
it will
do
help
that.
us out.
Yep.
We really appreciate all your help, all your support.
Yeah, we're
This is a
definitely
fun journey so far.
Yeah.
So
definitely trying to get there, trying to grow this bad boy. So make sure you do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. So thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
bye.
Peace out.